Basic Appraisal Principles, page 258, Unit 3, Legal Considerations. Leases. A lease is a contract between the owner of a property, the lessor, and the renter, the lessee. In a lease, the lessor grants use or occupation of the property for a specified period to the lessee in exchange for rent paid by the lessee to the lessor. Depending on the terms of the lease may or may not run with the land. A lease on a property might affect the value and marketability of such property. If the subject property of the appraisal assignment has a lease contract associated with it, the appraiser must become familiar with the kind of lease and the terms of the lease to determine whether the lease will affect the marketability or the value of the property. Mortgages. A mortgage is an instrument that pledges the title of real estate through a lien as security to payment of a specified debt. The mortgagor is the borrower who pledges or gives collateral/security for a mortgage. The mortgagee is the lender and advances funds for a mortgage loan. If a mortgage loan is not repaid according to the terms of the loan, the lender can foreclose the real estate and have it sold to pay off the loan. If the appraiser's client is a lender, there are likely specific rules and guidelines that must be followed when developing the appraisal, or if the appraisal assignment includes a property in foreclosure, specific guidelines must be followed. As with all appraisal assignments, the appraiser must comply with USPAP rules to guarantee experience and competency when appraising such properties. Liens. A lien is a financial encumbrance giving a creditor the right to take, hold, or sell a property and use the proceeds to pay off a debt. If the debtor fails to meet obligations, liens may be voluntary or involuntary. A lien is a security interest in property. It is a charge against the property, giving a creditor the right to sell the property, foreclose, and use the proceeds to pay the debt if the debtor fails to pay. The most familiar example of a lien is a mortgage. For example, Walcott buys a house for $100,000. He gets an $80,000 loan from the bank and gives the bank a mortgage for $80,000. The mortgage is a lien against the property. If Walcott defaults on the mortgage, the bank has the right to sell the property and use the proceeds of the sale to pay off the mortgage. An appraiser should find out whether there are any outstanding liens on the property to be appraised. Liens are filed in the office of the county recorder in the county where the property is located. The fact that there are liens against a property does not prevent its transfer to a new owner, but the transfer does not eliminate the liens. The new owner takes the property subject to the liens. It is extremely important for a buyer to know what liens are attached to the property before purchasing. In most cases, the buyer will require the seller to pay off any liens out of the sale proceeds. There are many different types of liens, but all liens can be categorized as either general or specific. A specific lien is a lien that attaches only to a particular piece of property. Extra note, if you don't pay your debt, you get a lien. Page 259. For example, a mortgage is a specific lien. It attaches only to the particular piece of property offered as security for the loan. A general lien is a lien that attaches to all the property the debtor owns. For example, a judgment lien that arises after a court case is an example of a general lien. A judgment lien attaches to all property owned by the debtor. All liens are either general or specific, but within those broad categories are many different types of liens, including the following: government lien, mechanics lien, which is also called a construction lien, mortgages, and judgment lien. Government lien. Government liens include property tax liens, such like special assessment liens and liens resulting from other taxes. Because they are created by state law, they are examples of statutory liens. Property taxes and special assessments create specific liens against real property. A lien for general property taxes attached to the tax property when the property is assessed. If the taxes are not paid, the state may foreclose and sell the property to collect the unpaid taxes. A special assessment lien attaches to each property that benefits from a local improvement. The amount of the lien is the owner's share of the cost of the improvement. As with general property taxes, if the property owner does not pay a special assessment, the property may be sold to collect the unpaid amount. Other types of taxes, such as state and federal income taxes, can result in liens against real property. A federal or state income tax lien is a general lien against all of the taxpayer's property. The lien is not filed until payment of income taxes is delinquent. Mechanics lien, also known as a construction lien. A mechanics lien, also called a construction lien, arises when someone provides labor, skill, equipment, or materials for improvements on a property. This includes contractors, subcontractors, surveyors, architects, engineers, painters, laborers, and plumbers, among others. These liens are specific. Mechanics lien rights are authorized by state statute. This is why it is an example of a statutory lien. Under the statute, a lien attaches when the first item of labor or material is furnished. Contractor lien notice. In some states, contractors must provide property owners with a specific written notice informing the owners that a lien might be enforced against the property if those who provided materials or labor are not paid. The required notice also warns the property owners that they could be responsible for money owed to subcontractors or others who provide labor or materials, even though the owners had no direct contract with them.